Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. This is the second part of the tour. I did the first part the day before yesterday. I actually filmed the second part yesterday, but I was dodging in and out of the polytunnel between rain showers. You can't really film in the rain, your gear gets all wet. So anyway, it was all rushed and horrible and I just binned it and I thought I'll just do it again today. So apologies for that, because you were probably expecting a video yesterday, and anyway, it'll be here today. So this is where we finished up the other day, was this bed here, and this is between the tunnels. The small tunnel's just here to me right, and the big tunnel here on the left. You'll have seen the front of the plot, so we'll move up now and have a look at the back, and I'll give you an idea of what I'm doing at the back of the plot over the next couple of years. So down here what we've got essentially is three 13-foot wide beds and a 3-foot path in between them and either side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pathways, 3 beds, and they go backwards that way 40 foot, and there's a little patch of land at the very bottom. At the moment these 2 beds, these 2 beds are my flower beds, and the one on the far side has always been fruit, but that fruit bed has been converted over this winter and everything's coming out of there. It's all being ripped out, and that's where my next polytunnel's going, down there. I have been gifted 2 little polytunnels, and one was gifted to me because the guy that gave it to me, I'd helped him a few times, giving him a bit of help over the last year, and he's upgraded and he's got himself a bigger tunnel, and he's got another one to go up yet actually as well. And the other one was gifted to me because the guy was leaving the plot and he no longer wanted it, so I took that one down and stowed it away. So those 2 20-foot tunnels, they're the same size as my little tunnel there, only they're proper tunnels, so they're a slight bit taller, they're about a foot taller. I'm going to put them together and put them on that bed over there, 2 20-foot tunnels. You may be thinking, oh well, there's a 40-foot tunnel. I don't want it that big actually, I only wanted about 28, 30 foot, probably the same length as my big tunnel, because I want a work area up the top up there, but we'll go and have a look at that in a minute. So this is that far fruit bed. It's currently got some black currants in it, red currants and raspberries. They're all being ripped out. They're all quite old now, and they were gifted to me, so I don't know the varieties. So I'm going to rip them all out, and when I'm ready to plant more fruit, I will buy new and buy the varieties that I want, as opposed to the ones that I've been given. So having said that, that's all to come out, and all the weed, and there's some levelling of land to do. At the far bottom of this plot is where the tunnel will go. As I say, this bed is 40 foot long by 13 foot wide, and I'm putting a 10-foot wide tunnel on it, and it will go to the back towards the fence of the plot. So it will leave me with a 3-foot strip of land down the front of that tunnel, or down the side of that tunnel. At the very top will be a 10-foot by 13-foot area, which I will use and probably end up paving, and I will use that for potting on plants, sitting down having a coffee, doing little projects, work projects. So it's an area to work, and I'll show you the reason for that in a second when we have a little wobbly walk around. But there we go, that's where that tunnel's going. So we're now halfway down the pathway between the beds, and the new polytunnel will be in the left hand side here. And you can just see on the floor there in the middle, there is a paving stone, and that's roughly where the polytunnel will finish. The rest of it will come down towards the camera and behind me to the bottom of the bed. And I say this is why I want to put a little work area in at the top, because it's got access to the 2 sheds, access to the polytunnel, and access to the 3rd polytunnel, the small tunnel, which is off camera and to the right hand side. So it just makes logical sense to have that area there, so that I can nip in and out of each tunnel or in and out of the shed, whatever I need to do. It just makes the workflow that much easier. So that's why I want that area there, and why I'm keeping the tunnel short when I could go longer. Well, this is kind of embarrassing, but there you go, I did say a warts and all tour. This is my pot storage area, and I've been wanting I wanted to do it this year, to be honest. I wanted to make this a proper pot and tray storage area, and there are a lot of trays of pots underneath that, and you can probably see, but there's also a lot of rubbish just dumped on the top as well, and it is embarrassing. There's no better way of saying it. So this is another little area that needs sorting out. As I say, I do want this as a pot and tray storage area, which will make things a lot easier. So we'll probably end up building some sort of light storage area, but we'll see. But it needs sorting out anyway. I do apologise for showing that. Right, I'm now in the extreme corner of the plot, and in front of you on the left hand side is the bed where the new polytunnel is going. You can see the other two tunnels in the shed, and you can probably just make out the path in between so that you know roughly where this new tunnel is going. I just thought I'd show you that. I don't think I've ever been down here with a camera before, and just in front of you here is my massive comfrey patch. It's all dying back now. I'm going to get the last scratchings I can off that and get them in a tub to make some more plant food ready for next year. So we'll just go and have a look down to the right hand side now. There's quite a bit of a mess there, but I'll show you it nonetheless. So I'm as close to the other far corner of the plot as I can possibly get, and you'll see why in a minute. What I've had down here for a number of years is a kind of a pallet enclosure for all the rubbish to go in, all the stuff that you want to keep, but it was just to keep it tidy. It's all started to fall down, so all this needs ripping out, and the rubbish thrown away or burnt. It needs a good tidy up. It's not a priority, but it's something that needs to be done. Okay, this is the reason why I couldn't get into that corner. I've got a bit of a compost heap here. Now this is for all the rubbish weeds, so all the nettle and nettle roots, dock roots, all that sort of stuff that you need somewhere to put them, but you don't want to put them through your normal compost heap. I mean, I've even got trunks of trees down the bottom of that. It's kind of a hugelkultur bed, and it's just about finished. I'll get some more weed on there this year, and I'll top it off, and then I'll make another one next to it. So I've just turned around now and I'm shooting up the plot, just to give you another alternative view. The two beds that you can see in front of you are my flower beds, and long term what I'd like to do with these is make them completely no dig and make them separate beds, similar to what I've been doing out in the front, so that the frames and protection frames can be swapped about. This is the whole idea and the ethos of what I've been doing, is trying to make stuff that I can use and move around and still have in use but not need to store, so that they're constantly in use, constantly on a bed and constantly growing something. But getting this lot into no dig shape is going to take a couple of years. Again, it's as always with building stuff on gardens, it's resources, and it's going to take a lot of timber to bed this out. But again, it is something that will eventually be done, and it won't be this next year. It might not even be the year after, but it'll be done as soon as I can possibly do it. Because as soon as you've got a no dig bed, you've got less work. And as soon as you've got less work, it means you can give your other plants and other areas more attention. So that's the prime objective really, is to get them done as soon as I possibly can, because then that allows me to make the rest of the plot better and to make my plants and my harvests better. So that's the thought with these two beds. So there'll be two flower beds, the tunnel on the far right and far left hand side, the two tunnels you can see in front of you, and the big shed. So it's just beyond this sweet pea frame where the new tunnel's going, and I did want to have it up this March. I mean, some of you may remember earlier in the year I was saying I wanted to get it up, but there's this big tree here and it's dead now. I said there's two main boughs of it. The third one has already come down a couple of years ago, and it came down, and where I'm stood now it would have just scraped my face, come right down over the plot. So naturally I'm a little concerned about putting the tunnel up until that's taken down. There is permissions in place to do that, and I'm just waiting for the guy on the other plot, Andy, to come down, and we've got a tree surgeon on site and we can get rid of that, and then I can get on with this build. So Andy, if you're watching, where the hell are you? Get down here and get this sorted out. So there we have it, part 2 of the tour done. The whole plot is about 140 foot long and about 50 foot wide. It is a big plot, which is why I produce so many plants and I have so many to grow, and why all my projects seem to take a lot longer and they're a lot bigger than maybe people in an average plot or small garden might undertake. That's my choice. I wanted this area. I wanted something to get my teeth into, and boy have I got something to get my teeth into. So as I said on the last video, the main priority for me is to get those no dig areas out the front sorted. Then I can move back and clear off these beds, and that won't take long. I'll just clear them to ground level, so I'll literally just be pulling plants and weeds out, literally just pulling them out, and then I'll cover them and come back as a later date to dig them over ready for next spring. But it'll all be done. It's all doable because it's what I do every year and I've done for the last 10 years. So, and then clear that main bed, clear all the fruit out, get rid of it, and get the next polytunnel up. In the meantime, I need to hassle the guy whose plot that is next door, and get him down here to get these trees sorted out. That needs doing. It's a health risk, and I'm quite concerned. They were creaking yesterday in the wind, so I think they need gone fairly quick. Anyway, that's another story. Stay safe everyone, look after yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ra now.